Hey everybody, GL1 here, and something different than what we've been seeing lately. Recently, a friend of mine asked me, what makes the Barbie Extra dolls extra? And I thought, well, I'll do a little show on just that. So, what makes them extra is the extra fancy clothing, the extra accessories, and articulation of their joints. Now, before there was Barbie Extra, there was Barbie Style, and this magazine came out, in 2020, and it happens to have the first Barbie Style doll of 2014, and I bought the Barbie Style doll back then, and until then, the only Barbies I ever bought, which was not many, was just if it was something unusual, something that marked maybe a different kind of doll technology that was being used, like whether it was silicone or just unique in some joint, maybe the way it did the joints or something like that. And other than that, I really wasn't interested in Barbie because they didn't do a whole lot. And I don't collect everything. I just collect things that I like. Well, this doll, what was unique is it had joints. So that was the first thing I noticed. It had wrist joints, it had elbow joints, shoulders, some hip motion and knees, and even ankles. And, that was enough for me to think, all right, this is something, a new era for Barbie. You can turn the head in all different directions. It didn't have the click joints like the older Barbies that were kind of a rubberized leg with a little click joint that made click, click, and two clicks, and that was it. And a lot of times they had elbows that if they did move, they had a hard time staying in place, or they didn't move at all. It was just a solid arm. Now this does not have the double elbows or the double knees. So, but until then, this is the best articulation that I'd seen on a Barbie. So I thought, all right, well, I'll get that, and that'll just be something to complete kind of the museum collection of something different that has happened. Well, in 2020, they took that idea further, and they took the Barbie Style doll, and they came out with Barbie Extra. Now, there were the Barbie Fashionista dolls. Barbie and Mattel, which was doing, Barbie was doing really, actually Mattel was doing really poorly. And one of their lines that was really faltering was Barbie. And they came out with the Fashionista line, and they have non-moving joints, and I'll show you that. So I got some dolls to show you the difference in the articulation. So here's one of the smaller dolls. Now another thing they started doing recently in the past few years, and this is part of the Fashionista line, to revamp it, is they made dolls of different body types. So no longer just the typical Barbie that you might have seen in the past, but they made Barbies with different body proportions and different heights. So this is a smaller, I don't know if this is Skipper, but I really don't pay attention to their names. But anyway, this is a smaller doll, and you can see it has no knee joints, but it's good knees, and as far as the sculpting, and it has shoulder articulation, but no elbows, so she's just stuck in that position. No torso twisting or anything like that. And the thighs, she can sit, but and no ankles. So that's as much articulation as you get on the Fashionista line, which is very successful. And I think part of the reason is they give them a lot of unique looks and clothes and different things with their hair, and definitely a lot of different face sculpts. So here's one. Now this Barbie's come out within the past, I don't know, maybe year and a half or so. And what's notable about it is she's really muscular. Her legs are more muscular than any other Barbie before her, female Barbie. And even her arms are more muscular. You can see in the shoulders. So she's a lot more athletic. I would like them to make this in an extra or even beyond, and I'll show you beyond. But she's got, these great little braids, and it warns you never undo the braids because you'll never be able to braid anything like that small. That's done by a machine. But anyway, again, no knees, no elbows. But I just thought she's unique because she's really muscular, and that was something cool. And then here's one of the more curvy sculpts, and I thought she was very unique. I mean, her skin complexion is very noticeable, and you see that in the package, and the hair. It's very striking, and I thought that was cool. And she has, her arms are just straight instead of a bend, which I like that. I think more than I like having a bend. But the fingers are a little soft, and again, no knees, but the curvier body. And she's not as tall as these extras over here, but even the extras come with different body types and different heights. And I wanted to go back and show you some old Barbies. This is the old style. Okay. Now this Barbie has the rubber legs, which has the click joints. See, 2 clicks, and that's about as much as you get. And you get the leg that moves out, no elbow joint. And this is from, I think it's 98. It's difficult to tell because what it is they have the date on the back of the head here, but if they use the same sculpt and they just change the complexion of the makeup or hair, it'll still say that date. So it could be later than that, or sometimes, if it says an earlier date, even if it says 1990, the doll might not have come out until 95. But anyway, so that's the click joints. And then they even have older Barbies that had more joints. So here's a Barbie with, I got these clothes at the dollar store, and then I took just some kind of, gun that went to something, something that I don't remember, nothing in particular. But you can see it's got the elbow joint, and it's a little bit delicate, but, she does have a joint, and she has a knee, and keep it in place, and hips that move, actually better than the other Barbies. And, got your head motion there, no wrists, but she can turn her forearm, so it gives her, some different ways of posing, and no ankle articulation. But anyway, so that's an older Barbie, where they were trying some joints with that. And then I think it was Toy Story 4 came out with a Barbie, and this is kind of like an old-fashioned Barbie with more modern proportions. If you've ever been into Barbie, they talk about how the dolls had proportions that were impossible for a human being, and so they've tried to make them more realistic. So she has the same joints as a Barbie Extra. Okay, she does not have the double joints in the knee and the elbow, but she does have the wrists. And so anyway, just thought I'd show you that because that's like an old-fashioned Barbie, but with newer joints. Now, when they started making the dolls with the double joints, with the double elbows, one version of those dolls would be when they made the Signature Series dolls. So this is a Lara Croft Tomb Raider. Double knees, you can see how you can bend it up further. And the double elbow joint, so she can really get her arm bent. You see the double elbow joint there. So it gives it a lot more range. This one, though, does not have the torso joint, but you can still get quite a bit of posing out of that. And, the facial sculpt quality, they really make it look like the actress. So the technology on changing the faces and getting the faces to look like real people is dramatically improved. And I think a lot of times they actually model the faces after maybe stars, people that we see in the media, and then they make a Barbie that kind of simulates that. Now, this is one of the early examples of fully articulated Barbie that is not a Signature Series, but you might find it kind of ironic that the most articulated Barbie action figures are the ones that actually come in a wheelchair, Ken or Barbie, but they have the double elbows and they do have the double knees. And I have the Ken, and I took him out, changed his head, and I made him into a He-Man doll. And I can show you that. Okay, so Ken that was in a wheelchair had a different head. It was a plastic head with plastic molded hair. And then there was like beachgoer Ken, which had this long hair. And I thought it was really neat, for the doll to have that. So I made this outfit, and I figured, well, it kind of looks like He-Man, So I braided the leather. I made the leather outfit. I used shoe glue to glue things together. The shield is also made out of leather, and I riveted that in there, and I put a hook on it so he can hook it on his back if he'd like. And so you can see how that goes together there. And I just bent the metal around there. I made a Velcro belt, and then I, painted like little jewels that, like He-Man, it's similar to the He-Man jewels. The sword is also made out of leather, and you can paint leather with acrylics, and it'll, you can see it stays on quite well and looks like plastic. And then I made his little booties here, and see he had sneakers, so I just glued everything down with shoe glue. And he has the ankle articulation, see that? And the double knees. So I figured, well, I'd like to make a 12-inch size He-Man, because they don't have one. I mean, you can spend, there's really expensive ones. But I figured, well, it's fun to make it myself. And that Ken, here's the wrist braces. I have a lot of extra leather. I used to work with leather too, so I have a lot of leather stuff. And I figured, well, this is a cool way to make, a fully articulated He-Man doll in the 12-inch scale. So there you go. So I did that. And then you also have, for fully articulated figures, you have the yoga Barbies. And they're really neat, especially if you get them on sale, because you can change them too, right? You can, if you boil the head, you want to put a different head on, you can do that if you can get the complexion to match, or change your clothes, anything you want, right? And you have your fully articulated ankles that go in all directions. And you have your double joint in the knees, and you can see how the hips really can bend because, well, they do yoga. So she can do the splits, and has a little bit of the waist. It has a joint up underneath the ribs here, so you see that. So you can twist her. She has a little bit of torso articulation, and she can look up and around, and the shoulders. So really. Have a lot of possibilities to make an action figure out of that, and to me, dolls are action figures, but it just all depends on what if you want to make it into something, rather than think of it as a doll, you could make it into some kind of, warrior or whatever, and then it's maybe an action figure to you or something. So, all right, so that is that. All right, so I have a few more things to show you, but before I get to that, I'm going to show you the Barbie Extras. So the Barbie Extras, as you can see, comparing them to what I showed you with the Fashionista, I mean, they are definitely on another level. A lot of very expensive kind of accessories, just a lot more plastic and chrome and really, extravagant hairstyles and clothes. And they come with little pets and a bunch of other accessories, but I'm keeping those. I take them and I just put them in like a bag with the name of the figure and a box, and then they're just all there. But this is, kind of fluffy, right? So again, pretty fancy hairstyle. I mean, a lot of effort, I think, for the manufacturer to put all that in there, crimped hair, and multicolored. So, and these are usually $25, but you can find them often for around $11.99. They go on clearance pretty regularly, but you got to weigh getting it on clearance before you can't find it again, and then the price goes up. So this one, I like this one a lot. I like chrome. I like dolls that have chrome because it's really space aged, and I like all things that are like about space. So she looks like somebody like a space traveler. Pretty fancy boots and everything. Barbie is Mattel. Monster High is Mattel. Um, the fanciness of the boots, and I don't think I ever would have really paid attention until someone pointed it out. The boots on Monster High are fantastic. I mean, as far as unique, they're crazy. How they come up with all these crazy ideas for like scissors for the heels and things like that, just really great. So this is a more curvy figure, Barbie Extra. So if you compare her, actually, so this Barbie here is more the taller, leaner, and you can see the heights. Or can you see that? Yeah, this Barbie on the left here is a little taller, but yeah. So this Barbie, again, you have the shiny clothes, and she has cool glasses, and I think they're both of Asian descent, Barbies, and I like to see that diversity. I think that's really great. People that can play with all different kinds of dolls, and emulate the people that they see around them, and have all different kinds of friends. So I think that's cool. All right, and moving on here. This Barbie Extra, we went through here. She's really tall. All right, and then here's another. This is another Barbie Extra, another curvy Barbie. So, and this one here is an example of her pet. Okay, so she has a pet alligator. You really wouldn't want to have a pet alligator, but yeah. So you can see the knee joints in the back, and obviously you can tell she has the bigger legs. So the curvier figure on the Barbie. So. And this one, a lot of these were on clearance, and I don't think a lot of people really liked that one that much. So I saw that one on clearance a lot. This one too is neat. Now the 59 signifies that Barbies were invented in 1959, so that's why you might see that. And again, the curvy body. I thought the basketball purse is really neat. Doesn't open. If it were a Monster High, it would open. Even though the two companies are the same, but I know Monster High would have made that open because I have Monster High. I have a lot of Monster High. Actually, this was working for someone, and their daughter didn't want 70 of them, and she gave me 70 Monster High dolls. So that doubled the number I have. I think the glasses are pretty cool. See, you have flames on them, and big chain, and then let's go to just good old Barbie. All right, so this one, I like this one. This was a clearance one I got for like $11.99. But I thought the way the hair was all, kind of steamed together and plasticized, I thought that was really neat. And then they, put little hearts on it. She has like a clear rain poncho. And it looks like something that you're supposed to clip off, like it's just for packaging, but it's not. So unless you want to ruin it, don't. And she has, the braid. So, quite a diversity of hair. And then she has, just her straight, long Barbie hair in the back. And then we have another Barbie over here, just good old Barbie. All right, so it's the same doll, right? But she just has different clothes on. And, it's so fancy, right? With all these, furry coat. And, so I think you could see that, the $25 versus about $10 for the fashionista doll, you get a lot more. I mean, you get like I said, you get the pet, you get more accessories, you get these fancy clothes, and you get articulated joints. So if you can get them certainly on clearance, you're really making out well. And then, all right, back here's another one that's really tall. All right, so she's really neat with all her tassels on her coat. So I think that's kind of neat, kind of a 1970s vibe to that. And look at this multicolored hair braid. Wouldn't that be neat? And, you start to see people that, I don't know what came first, right? The Barbies doing that or the people? I think the people, and then the Barbies emulate it. But she's pretty cool, wearing, like Timberland boots that have heels. So that's pretty neat. And, all right, so this is Barbie Extra Fancy. So this one has an extra fancy clothing, and then underneath she has this, kind of like spandex underneath, and it's not that much more fancy, but it's extra fancy. And, she has a braid incorporated into her hair here, and I thought she looks a lot like Beyonce. So I sometimes wondered, did they model this doll after Beyonce? This is one that has gone on clearance at Walmart, and I thought this one was going to be one of those that would be hard to find, but instead it went on clearance. Now this one over here, I think this is this is my favorite. I think this is the best doll of all of them. I love the way she looks, and her hair and her clothes and everything. And look at the crimped hair. I think there's a lot of cool features to this doll. And this one is one of those that if you don't get it, you probably won't get it. I mean, you're going to have to pay more for it. I don't think they made a lot of them, and they cost a little bit more, and they didn't stay out. It came in a more fancy packaging than the other fancy dolls. All right, so that's the Barbie Extra, but I have some extra things for you. So there's the Barbie Icon series, and these are, I think they're models, like runway models. I don't know if they're supposed to be real people, if they're supposed to emulate that. I don't recognize any of them, and I'm not into that anyway. But what you get with the Barbie Icon is you do get the bicep joint up here, full motion on the shoulder. You have the extra bend in the elbow, the double elbow joint. You get the torso moves a little better than that yoga Barbie, actually. And you do get the double knees as well. So it's pretty much a yoga Barbie with really, some kind of model, kind of runway model look, fancier hair. And they even make male dolls. And check this guy out. So this is new. And I know right now he's a little bit higher priced on Amazon. But if you got him when he first came out and you pre-ordered it, it was $22. So what you'll notice is he's really muscular for a Barbie doll. So look at his biceps and forearms. He has all the double joints, and you can see his quads. He's got big muscular quads and calves, fully articulated joints. His stand falls off easily, though. But I think that it's a really neat doll. I mean, you could make, if you compare, okay, so this did not exist when I made the He-Man. So if you compare the two, I would take the head off and I'd trade it, and I'd have an even more muscular He-Man figure. I mean, you can see the arms here. Let me show you. All right. I want to push against that joint the wrong way. Okay, so there's his arm, and there's He-Man's arm. And there goes the stand again. All right, so you could see his arm's a good probably 40% more thick, and you could see the tricep muscle coming out a little bit. So that's really awesome, huh? And then he's got, again, real hair like other Barbies, a little bit of a beard. He's got this, like this peach fuzzy hair that's kind of like the old G.I. Joes. So anyway, and his head's squishy, so you can squish it. All right, so that is that. But I'm not done giving you guys something extra. So this was taken off the shelves. This came out in 2003. I've never opened it. I bought it when it went on clearance at KB Toys. This is Pregnant Midge. And this was removed off the shelves from Walmart. The entire line of Happy Family was taken off because some people did not like that she was pregnant, and Barbie was pregnant too. I saw both of them, and I should have bought both, but I just bought Midge. And there's a little baby, and her stomach opens, and there's like a slot or something. That's just what I've read, and the baby can come out. And then I think you can change her stomach, and then she's not pregnant. I think that's what. And you can see it has like a little bath thing down there, and then a crib and a little mattress, a changing station, and then in the background you have like her husband and an older child. And so the story is Midge is supposed to be married, but still some people didn't like that we have a doll that's showing that human beings have babies. So things have moved on quite a bit since then to where this 2016 Career of the Year, and we have a Barbie game developer. So Barbie is busy developing games, and it looks like she needs glasses now because for years and years she was poring over that computer, teaching herself code. And yes, that can make you a little bit myopic. But she has the headset, with the microphone. And so anyway, that's game developer Barbie, and it's the You Can Be Anything. And that's quite a far cry from, you may not know this, but there was once a Barbie that could talk, and it would say things like, gee, math sure is hard. So, Barbie can be anything you want her to be. She doesn't have to just be a fashion icon or someone in yoga, but she can also be a Tomb Raider. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.